Hey guys, so today's video is going to be this JKISSA inspired makeup look. If you guys are not familiar, JKISSA is a YouTuber, influencer. She's very beautiful. She's very talented. She plays around with colors like no other. I absolutely enjoy her tutorials, and whenever I need some colorful inspiration, I always go to her. She recently came out with a collaboration with e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I got to play around with this whole collection, and it's really fun. It's really simple. It's not intimidating. It's kind of like color, but like not like, oh, I'm scared, you know. She made it very simple, and she made it very her. If you know her, then you look at this collection, you're like, oh, this is her, like this is JKISSA, you know. So I love that about the collection. So I got to play around with other new things from e.l.f. that I purchased myself as well, and I really enjoyed everything I used basically, but whenever I have a chance, I sneak in like a little e.l.f. haul, because it's e.l.f., you know, like you don't feel guilty about buying e.l.f. Everything is like $2, $3, $5, you're like, eh, and then, you know, when you realize it's like $50 deep and you're like, oh. Anyway, I am not going to ramble anymore. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe, and now if you want to see this JKISSA inspired makeup look, then just keep watching. So I'm going to quickly prime my eye. I'm going to use the P. Louise base, and I'm using the shade 0.5. So I'm going to start by going in with the shade Mac and Cheese, and I love that in the package she explained every single thing. In the PR package she explained why, like she named the shades what she named them, and I thought it was so cute. So obviously this shade is just because she loves mac and cheese and she loves colors like that. So I pretty much pack the most shadow on the outer corner, and then I just blend it towards my inner corner. Now I'm going to take the shade Alien, and I'm going to put this very lightly right above that previous shadow, just to have like a hint of green. So I'm going really high with this green, like pretty much up to my brow bone, to my eyebrow. I mean, it's just, I go really, really high, and then I'm packing this on my inner corner as well. And you'll see why I'm doing this in the next step. But it's just something that I realized for myself that I like doing it. I think it gives like a nice little touch. Now I'm just blending the two together real quick. So now I'm going to take this beautiful highlighting shade right here, and it's called 23. So I take a flat brush like this, and I pretty much put this right here, like this. And it's pretty harsh, but I kind of follow my eyebrow all the way through. And then without adding much, I just kind of pull it down and like blend it towards that eyeshadow that I applied, that green shadow. And it kind of like, it looks like you can still see the hint of green, but then you see the highlight on top, and it's just like it adds, instead of just being like a clean highlighting, like it adds a little oomph, you know. Like I really noticed that I like doing that, and I've been doing this on my last like looks. I really like how it looks, so it's just a little something that I've been doing. Now I'm going to take the shade My Moon, and I'm going to put this all over my lid, keeping a little bit like below my crease. Then I take a smaller blending brush, and I go back to the first shade, and I'm going to marry these two shades together just by going in and just blending in my crease. And with this step, you might just have to just go back and forth between the brushes like I'm doing right now. I'm not adding anything. I'm just going back with the brush and just kind of patting onto my lid again. So it's just like seamless, you know, so the two colors just blend together, and it just gives you that really pretty ombre effect in a way. And then after that, I just go back without adding anything. I just switch my brushes again. Like this is a brush I used to apply the green shadow, I just go back and just blend it and do some fine tuning, if you will, just to make sure the colors are seamless, the transitions are seamless. So she also has a mascara, and it happens to be like a brown, like a really cool brown. It's not like your dark brown. Obviously it looks brown on this eye. I'm gonna give you guys a close-up when it's done, but I really like it, and I actually like the formula too. Like, I applied several coats on this eye and it didn't clump, so I'm impressed. Like, I like the color, like the shade, and I also like the formula. Now I'm gonna move on to my lower lash line. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some concealer first. I'm using the Flawless Concealer in Light Sand. And if you don't like a really sharp outer corner, you don't have to do that. Like I'm doing right now. I don't actually leave it really sharp. I just kind of blend it so it's just slightly sharp. I'll probably apply some more concealer afterwards because my dark circles are thriving today. But I'm gonna move on and apply the gel liner that she has in the collection. And this is a retractable gel liner, and it doesn't have a shade name, but it's blue and it's beautiful. So I'm gonna put this on my waterline and kind of smudge on my lower lash line as well. It looks messy, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna blend this with that green shadow that we used on our crease, just to like give a little bit more of a ombre, you know, like blue and green just makes it just magic. I feel like you could totally use this eyeliner as an eyeshadow as well because it's so smooth, just glides. And then I'm gonna go ahead and apply some mascara very lightly on my lower lashes as well. And then to finish off, I'm gonna heavily highlight my inner corner using the same shade I used for my brow bone. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to the face, and I'm gonna start by kind of priming my face in a way with this little Glow Dewy Mist. Is a coconut and argan oil spray, and it smells amazing. If you're not familiar with JKISSA, she is very well known, not only for her talent, obviously, but she's very known for not using foundation. She has such beautiful freckles all over her face, and I just really think it's so beautiful, and she takes like to a next level by not covering them up because it kind of just like makes her looks like not, it's so unique, you know, obviously. It's just like a beautiful feature that she has, and she 100% embraces it, so it's even more beautiful. Anyway, I'm not going to our foundation. My skin is not at its best right now, but since this is a JKISSA inspired tutorial, so I'm not going to do foundation. I'm gonna take the same concealer and spot conceal my pimples and apply, you know, where I need a little bit more coverage, but I'm not going to do foundation whatsoever. So while I blend this, I'm gonna update you guys a little bit. If you already follow me on Instagram, then you already know this, but I posted something in my stories just to like talk about it because I hadn't posted in a few days, and you know, some people were messaging me like, oh, what happened? Like, are you okay? I haven't seen anything from you lately or whatever. So I was filming and I started feeling like super dizzy and just like nauseous. And I was like, okay, what is going on? And at first I thought it was because I skipped, like I hadn't eaten lunch yet. You know, I was filming while my oldest son was in school. So I was like, okay, maybe I just need to eat something. Like my sugar levels are probably just low and I'm just feeling like a little woozy and whatnot. So I started like snacking on some chips or whatever it is I had next to me. And I chugged a bottle of water, because I didn't feel good, so I didn't want to pass out. So anyway, I finished filming, and now that I was editing that video and I'm watching that footage back, I can see like one of my eyes is like super uneven with the other eye, and it kind of makes sense now because at the moment I didn't know what was going on, but I had vertigo. And it's something so random, like to me. I mean, I've heard of it, but I had no idea, first of all, that I would have it, you know, like it would happen to me. And I had no idea what it felt like. You know, I never really experienced that before. So once I finished filming, it started to get like worse and worse. So by the time I was done, like my husband was back and, you know, my son was back from school. And I just really felt really bad. And at first I was like, oh man, like I'm snacking and it's not going away. And I thought like God forbid, I was like, am I having a heart attack? Like I started to freak out a little bit. But even then I was like trying to just like I don't know, like survive in a way. Like I was just afraid. But I was still like able to walk and, you know, do regular things, but I was just very dizzy and nauseous. So the next day it was worse than it was that day. And then I was like, okay, finally I just have to go to the ER because I don't know what's going on. Like this hasn't gone away since yesterday. So I finally went after my husband was like, you have to go. And I was like, okay, fine. So that's when they told me I had vertigo. And I was like, what? This is so random. It's so weird. Like I just, you know, never thought I would have vertigo. I didn't even know what caused and like how someone even has vertigo. So yeah, it was just so random and weird. And yeah, and then like it didn't happen again. Like the next day it was a little bit like I felt like a little wobbly, like as I moved, if I turned too fast and, you know, more than normal. That feeling that you get like when you get up too fast and you kind of like, ooh, like you have to like take a second. So that's how I was feeling the whole time. But when it happened, it was an awful feeling. Like it felt like I was drunk with the spins and I was car sick at the same time. It was so awful. You feel so awful. And you know that you're supposed to walk in like a straight line, but there's nothing. Like everything is just spinning and you can't stop. And your brain knows that you're not moving. And you're still spinning. Like I couldn't lay down, I couldn't close my eyes. It was awful. All right, my camera overheated, so I don't even know where I was with all the rambling I was doing. But I'm just doing like a little bit of contouring. I'm using the Milk Makeup matte bronzer and just, you know, bronzing up my skin. But anyway, to conclude my story, I had vertigo and I'm okay now. It appears to just have been like a one-time thing. I hope so. The next day I felt a little wobbly, but I feel okay now. A lot of people gave me feedback on my Instagram. Obviously I am, you know, taking everything with a grain of salt, because I did go to the doctor and they told me things as well. And then I started reading, you know, about it because I didn't know about vertigo. So basically, there's a lot of things that can trigger. You know, a lot of people say that stress can trigger and, you know, like dehydration and like exhaustion and whatever. And I was like, well, isn't it like what every parent is, you know, exhausted, dehydrated, and, you know, stressed? But all jokes aside, I'm okay. Like I'm not, you know, it wasn't anything serious, but it was worth me talking openly about it just because so many people message me. Like literally I got so many replies. Like I never get replies like this many replies to when I post stories, and they were like, oh my gosh, my mom had it, or my aunt had it, or like I had it. And I was like, wow, like why didn't anybody talk about this? You know. So anyway, I thought it was interesting and super random that I would have that happen, but everything's okay. I feel fine now. And you know, it was a learning experience, at least if I want to really be positive about it. It's one more thing that I learned about. So this I purchased myself and it was very like, I was interested in it. So this is the Jelly Highlighter. This is the shade Dew. It looks really cute on the skin and you have to work a little fast before it dries, but I actually really like it. And then whenever I do like e.l.f. stuff, I always use this cream blush because it's so cute. Like, I love the shade and I like the formula, very pigmented, and it's super cheap. I think it's like $2 or something like that. I don't even know. But this is the shade Peach Perfection. Alright, so now for lips, I have so many options that I don't even know what I'm going to choose, but they're all over here. I feel like I could go really spring and do like a really bright coral, or I could keep it very simple and just do like a gloss. But I feel like I'm going to do something something like nude-ish, but I think I'm gonna do a matte nude. Maybe this right here. I like this a lot. This is Ofra and Verona, and I feel like it'll be a nice nude. I also have this. This is from CoverGirl, and this is their major shade. This is called Cakewalk. Maybe I'll swatch them on my hand to see what it look like. See, this is the CoverGirl. This is Verona. I think the Verona is gonna be too dark. I also have this Alyssa Ashley collab with e.l.f. Cosmetics as well, and this is a gloss. And I actually really like this. This is it right there. I wish this was a little bit more pigmented. This is too dark. Maybe this one would be cute. I think I'm gonna go with this one right here. And then lastly, I'm gonna set everything using the Dewy Setting Mist. This spray is a little aggressive. Alright guys, so that's it for this JKISSA inspired makeup look. I don't know her personally, but she just gives off this like really cool, chill vibe. I feel like she would be like a really good friend, you know, like, I don't know, she's just like she's so beautiful and so talented. And like I said, I don't know her personally, but it just inspires me when I see, you know, people like this and having their own collections and making it so unique, you know, like if you know her, then when you see this collection, you just know like, oh, that's JKISSA right there, you know. So I love that she kept it very true to herself in a way. And obviously e.l.f. You know, just with the whole like creative process, I'm sure they gave her a lot of freedom, and I love that. So I'm always happy to support, you know, fellow YouTubers. But she's very beautiful and talented, and I love her, you know, colorful, vibrant looks. So I hope I did justice. I really like how this turned out. It's very different to me, but I liked it, and I really feel like if this was reversed, it would look really pretty as well. Like if this blue was on my lid and the warmer tones was on my lower lash line, I feel like it would look pretty too. So maybe I'll do that next time and see what happens. But anyway, I will link her channel down below if you're not familiar with her. She's very, very successful. She has, you know, obviously she is. She has a collection, but she's very successful, and I really enjoy her colorful look. So if you're looking for some inspiration, she's really cool and very easy to watch. So I'll link her channel down below. And as always, if you like this video, if you found it helpful, and if you learned something new, please give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends and subscribe, because it really, really helps my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you next time.